were told that if you took the GLP-1, you'd lose all the weight, you'd live happily ever after, but here you are. You are plateaued, you're bloated, you're sluggish, and you're demoralized because you're heavier than you'd like to be. And now you're thinking that you're broken and that you're destined to be fat forever. And that last part is definitely untrue. And I know that because I've lost 100 pounds naturally, then another 20 with GLP-1s, and I coach men to lose at least 50 pounds. So in this video, what I'm gonna do is help you understand why the GLP-1 failed you, what's actually happening, and then the 4 things you can do today to start losing more weight and reversing the damage that your weight has done to your body. All right, so let's start with some devil's advocate, because I want you to see why I wanted to make this video, because that will help you out so much more than me just giving you what to do. Because if you walk away from this video and you don't change anything, you end up spending more money on GLP-1s, more money on solutions that don't actually fix the problem, more years unconfident, and for some of you guys, you take more time off of your lifespan. And trust me, like, I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be in your shoes, and I need you to understand this analogy I'm going to make because it will change how you view your plateau. All right, so let's get these out of the way. So here's what's going on. I want you to think of your health like this house. And I know that's not a great house yet, right? But in this house, you spent all your money on the TV. You spent a lot of money on a really nice dresser. It's my best dresser for you guys. And then you spent it all on a bed, which might be my worst drawing of all of them. There's the bed. We'll give us a little pillow, right? You spent all your money on this, but you don't have a roof. So when it starts raining, all of your stuff gets drenched. It gets ruined. And now you're back to square one, except now you're out of the investment that you made and you're more demoralized. So now it's not only going to take more money, it's going to take more time, it's going to take more effort, and you're not even going to believe that if I put all this stuff in the house, what happens if it rains again? I mean, what's the point of all of it? So you probably don't even do it. And you start thinking, well, maybe the fix is I need a more expensive bed. Maybe I need a more expensive dresser. But that's the exact same problem as you being in a weight loss plateau and saying, I need more of the drug. I need to find a better diet. I need to whatever. That's the problem. You're not actually fixing the issue. And chances are, when you're living in the house, you don't even realize, the rain's coming in because I don't have a roof. You don't even think about it. That's where you're at right now, is you think, I need more of the drug. I need more dosage. I need a better diet. I need to find the next best thing, when in reality, we just need to put a roof on the house. And what you're doing right now will change everything. It'll change because you can have this almost the same inputs. You put the roof on a house and everything starts to change for you, right? So you've been using all of the tools. You've been using the diets, the drugs, whatever, without even having the roof locked in. And the roof in this situation is 4 things. We have steps, protein and calorie tracking, which is 1 and 2. We have sleep, and then 3 workouts a week. So without protein and training on a GLP-1, your body pulls from muscle. This is because you're probably already in a calorie deficit, and your body, when it sees that, it's going to pull from the easiest tissue to take from. And if you're not eating protein, if you're not working out, your body doesn't see your muscle as essential. And where this plays in is your muscle contributes a large part to your metabolic rate, your total daily energy expenditure. So you end up burning more calories the more muscle you have. So you start stealing all of your muscle tissue from your body, your daily calorie budget goes down. And that can play into the plateau that you're feeling right now. And this is also why we see up to 40% bone density reduction while taking something like Ozempic. It's why Ozempic butt as a term exists, because it's taken from all of the muscle, and especially when you're not eating protein, when you have a micronutrient deficiency and you're eating way too many few calories for your body, you start messing up other parts of your body, like reduced bone density. So the drug isn't doing that. It's the missing foundation. It's the missing roof, right? And that I was working with somebody just the other day, and he came to me at 350 pounds about 3 months ago now. And he was completely plateaued on Manjaro for months, no progress. And he was considering a nutritionist, which it would have got him some progress, right? But it wouldn't have fully worked in the way that what we've done has worked, and what I'll tell you what we did, because he needed a full roof, right? Because the nutritionist gives you a better diet, which in this case is like saying, oh, I'm going to upgrade the price of my TV. It doesn't fix because the rain's still going to come through. Because if you're not working out, if you're not getting your steps, if you're not getting all of your protein and you're not even getting sleep, well, then a new diet won't do much for you. Just in the same way as buying more GLP to put in your body, more of the drug, doesn't really do much for your body. But then after we do all of these 4 inputs, literally just these 4 inputs, I haven't done anything crazy for him yet, he's down 25 pounds in 3 months. So this whole time you've been relying on the drug. But in reality, we've taken a full stack approach to this. And part of the reason you're plateaued is because you've been letting the drug do the work. But the drug alone will only take you so far. So you have reduced appetite, but that doesn't matter if you're not getting in the steps, if you're not cleaning up your nutrition, if you're not getting quality sleep. And this is the first phase of my codex. And it's what I take every one of my clients through. And since I can't calculate these for you without your specific details, I actually made a calculator and I'm going to put it in the description so you know exactly what to do. Just open it up, plug your numbers in, and start today. And this will actually build the roof on your house. So once you get these 4 inputs in, then the drug starts working so much better because right now you're in a calorie maintenance mode or even a surplus. If your weight's not moving, it's because of the calories. Now the steps, the protein and the calorie tracking, the sleep, and the 3 workouts make sure not only that the weight keeps moving in the direction that we want, but that it comes from fat, not muscle, and that you end up feeling 10 times better throughout the day, stable energy, no brain fog, stable blood sugar, and you end up feeling so much better than you are right now. Because the last thing you want to do is take a drug, go on a crazy diet, do all of this just to feel worse than when you started. But none of that matters long term without one more piece. And this is the exact difference between 90 days of good progress with those 4 inputs and then yo-yoing back, putting it all on the way back, plus interest. Or some of you guys, you're motivated Monday, you make all of these promises to yourself, this time's going to be different. For some reason, it feels like that every time, even though it's actually not different. And then you spiral out of control on Wednesday. Or you make it to Friday, you go out to lunch with your wife, and then you have one bad meal, and you start feeling self-doubt because of that. You feel like you have no control, and then you spiral out of control to make you feel like you do have something in your life that you control. It sounds counterintuitive, but that's how it's worked for me. So we've talked about the roof, right? So let me draw the roof on our little house here. So we got the roof, boom, we fixed the roof. But we haven't talked about the foundation because you can put all your stuff on dirt and you'll live fine for a little bit. Really, think about it. Your whole house could be under and you'd be fine. This is like you'd be fine for 90 days, let's say. You could lay a carpet on top of it, you could ignore it, and honestly, it'd be fine for a while. It's not great, but you could live on it. But eventually, you'd break. You get sick of it. And you have to completely start over. You have to take everything out of the house, and then you have to rebuild the full foundation, then you relay the carpet, and then you move everything back. So now you're 2 or 3 times the total amount of effort, time, and energy put into this, and that's the exact yo-yo. So this foundation of what I'm talking about is identity. So everybody who has all of the information and doesn't have the result has an identity problem. This is why you can say, well, I know that it worked for them, but it didn't work for me. It's because you didn't have the identity. And I'll talk about how we can actually fix that. And this is exactly why a big coach wouldn't have worked for my client I was talking about earlier. He came in at 350, he was plateaued on Manjaro for months, felt a little hopeless. He told me he was thinking about these ginormous fitness coaches online, these influencers that just hand you off to a sub coach or use AI to chat to you and you don't actually ever speak to them one-to-one. Well, the problem is that's no different than what you can just get online on a PDF. Is if you're just going to get macros and a workout plan, well, that's great, but it doesn't actually fix the identity issue. So then we started getting on these one-on-one calls, me and my client, and we're able to actually break through his mental plateaus and start forming that new identity so health becomes a habit for him. So he needed somebody who had done it before and knew what it felt like instead of just going on another diet, racing your dosage. Ask yourself these 4 questions. What kind of person do I want to be? What does my life look like in 6 months if I don't change? And who is counting on me to make these changes? How much is it costing me to stay where I'm at? And once you answer those seriously, you can finally stop being healthy because you're just on a diet or losing weight just because you're taking a drug. If you really think hard in those and give some genuine effort, you start being healthy because it's who you want to be and who you are. And that's how you make this permanent. So I made a full worksheet with all of those questions on it for you, just to walk you through those core questions, and the link will be in the description so to make this easier for you. And with all of the money, the time, the energy you spent trying to fix this, you can't really afford another temporary fix. So you're raising your dosage or you're starting another diet, but those are just temporary fixes to an identity problem. So you're trying to build a roof to protect against the rain. You're buying a more expensive TV because maybe that's how you fix it, but you don't even have a foundation on your house. You're living on dirt, and you're wondering, well, why do every 90 days I want to take all my shit out and then put it back in? And because I don't like living on dirt. Well, that's an identity issue. So let's recap everything I've talked about in this video to make it super simple and applicable for you to actually follow. So I want you to view this house as your health. This TV is going to be the GLP drug you're using. This dresser is going to be the current diet you're using. And then what happens is you don't have a roof, it starts raining. Well, that's where the inconsistencies come in. That's where the drug stops working enough, because it's getting rained on, because you're not doing your steps, because you're not tracking your calories or your protein. It's because you're not even getting quality sleep. It's because you're not working out at least 3 times a week consistently. And all of that, when you don't handle those, well, the drug isn't going to work as effectively. And you can only get so much results out of the drug without either upping the dose or building a roof on the house. But the thing is, you only have to build this roof once. You have to keep upping that dose on your drug for the rest of your life if you want to keep these results. But like I said, none of that realistically matters if you never actually build the foundation of your house, which is your identity. And that's going to make it to where you want to be healthy as a habit. Because right now you probably feel so much resistance to all of these healthy habits you're trying to put into your life. You're asking yourself, why is it so difficult for me when it looks so easy for everybody else? Why did nothing work? Why did keto? Why did carnivore? Why did Atkins? Why did the drug stop working eventually for me? It's not because those were the issue. It was because you never built the foundation to your house. You never built the identity that made being healthy a habit you wanted to have in your life. So to fix all of those, remember, I put the 2 documents for you in the description of this video. And if you want help losing the weight permanently, just apply for coaching. It'll be the first link in the description. And I'm only able to work with a handful of guys at once. And I do that because I want to have it very high touch, very one-on-one, because I genuinely do enjoy helping you guys change the course of your health. You know, I've been in your shoes. I know what it's like. And if I think I can help you, I will reach out after you apply, and we'll get started on the next steps and what it looks like. And if I don't think that I'll help, then I'll still reach out. I'll point you in the right direction. I'll send you some resources. But if you take one thing away from this entire video, don't wait for it to rain to find out you don't have a roof. And don't look at your feet and see dirt on it to find out you don't even have a foundation to your house. So don't wait for the drug to stop working to actually implement some healthy habits. And don't wait to yo-yo back and gain all the weight back to realize, maybe Luke was right. I do need to have an identity shift before all these results are permanent.